Good day, YouTube. Welcome back to another Gone Rogue. I spent some time in between recordings to unlock all the arcanas because it's just getting level 99 on specific characters. But, so that means I now have all the available arcanas, and they are insane. Like, literally insane. Absolutely fucking mental. Let's get the last banish, because that was bugged yesterday. And, yeah, let's roll a run. And I will demonstrate just how silly these arcanas are. And also, they are really, really, really nice. It has a lot of potential to change things around. Here's one, for example. Gives +3 revivals, and consuming a revival gives you a bunch of stats. You can get like 6 revivals in a run with this. So this also makes Toasty a lot better. However, I want to go for a crit build. So I'm going to go for a crit build. And ironically, something changes with this crit build that is very interesting because it actually makes knives good. And I hate knives. So the fact that they actually get made good with this, yeah. Also, I'm going to add axes because axes also gain crit. I'm going to add the cross because the cross also gets made better. The whip also gets made better. Let's also get the clover because it is all crit build. So let's see. Let's get cross because the first level of cross is the most important. So yeah, we are doing this on Lida because I want the extra might, because the might makes it interesting. Another arcane I'm going to pick by the 11-minute mark, because you get 2 more arcanas every run, is the one that buffs Fire Wand. It's Heart of Fire. And it's actually a very interesting one. It makes the fire projectiles explode on impact, and it makes the Fire Wand way better. Especially before it evolves. So we're also going Fire Wand. I'll probably add in Whip, because it also scales off of this. And when in any run before Arcanas would you ever go Whip, Axe, Cross, and Fire Wand? Little spoiler, you would never do that because it's just bad. You wouldn't be able to clear most maps with it. As you're going to see, it is actually pretty nuts now, and the potential for arcanas in the future, for example, that make Holy Wand good, or something like that, would be so cool. So I don't want any of these. We're going to reroll. I'm going to grab Knife. And the arcana seem to be tied to characters that you unlock them with. And as you can choose your first one, but the other 2 are randomly chosen from 1 out of 4. However, there's only 6, so it's really easy to guarantee the 3 you want right now. But it's not going to be like that in the future. But you can base your items around arcanas you get. I mean, the 3rd one is at the 21-minute mark, so probably not that one. That one you're just gonna have to go with, but if you're unsure, you can stall the last weapon you want at the 11-minute mark, and then you can use whatever arcana you get to choose from to decide your build. And that idea is very cool to me because it makes it less like knowing what you're going to do exactly at the start of a run. But it does need more arcanas for that to be okay. It's the thing, because right now, like I said, you can guarantee the 3 you want pretty easily. In case you're not noticing, the knives are actually doing like 150 damage here. Which is absolutely silly. Well, I mean when they crit. Maybe I was wrong before, or maybe I missaw. That's not a word. I wrongly saw the other day, but with a max clover, it felt like I was getting 100% crits with a thousand edge. Apparently it's 50%, but yeah. And I was having a death spiral that was doing 350 damage or something. Granted, that was on Arca. You know, the one character that doesn't have like extra might or something. So yeah. Now I'm on Lita, who has 100% might. So I'm really curious as to what numbers I can reach on this guy. Also, just because this build is weird, I want to know how it functions. Because you would never, ever try to run this build. Like before Arcanas. Except for maybe if you started out, because there was nothing else you could do. Right, the cross itself also crits now, by the way. If you don't want to evolve it, the cross can crit. But I do feel like if you want to go this route, you definitely want the clover. So, just for the extra crit chance. Unless you're playing a character that has a lot of innate luck, like Axdash or Toasty. Also, the +3 revival Arcana will make Toasty a lot easier to play. Still not fun, but a lot easier regardless. I'm not sure on the third Arcane. I could go for the revivals. I feel like if you get at the 20-minute mark or something, and you don't really die very easily, that's kind of pointless. Because the main thing about the revival Arcane is that you want to use it to gain more stats, right? At least that's what I would do. I keep being amazed by the damage on this guy, but it's even worse with Arcanas. Also, Arcane has completely changed up the meta for world record runs and all that. Like, everything and anything is on and off the table, and no build is set in stone anymore because the duration and speed Arcanas are, like, fucked up and they mess up Labora in ridiculous ways, and it's just all over the place and nobody knows what the hell is going on. And that's cool. That unpredictability is awesome. More axes. So we have our weapon set up. I don't want Skull. What do I need exactly? Because Spellbinder and Bracer we're getting off of the map. Also, I'm going up first because Spellbinder isn't that important. Pretty sure. Oh, I'm pretty sure nothing even scales with duration anyway. Nothing I have. I want Duplicator, I think. Yeah, I have all the evolution items, what I have. Yeah, I want Duplicator. More projectiles is probably going to do the most for me. Let me think. Does anything here scale? Oh, that's nice. Does anything here scale with duration? No? Nothing does. Okay. So I'm not even going to bother getting Spellbinder. Unless I'm horribly mistaken and something scales up with duration, but I'm pretty sure nothing does. So I'm not gonna walk back down to get duration. Okay. So, yesterday in the beta patch, you got a chest at the 10-minute mark, that would have an arcana, and it replaced the evolution chest. It was actually really obnoxious. The same with the 20-minute mark. But the dev changed it, and now there's an extra chest at 11 and 21 minutes with the arcanas in it. So now you don't lose your evolutions. On one hand, that's great. On the other hand, it did make it so that you didn't guaranteed have all your evolved weapons by like the 15-minute mark. And I didn't sort of like that. But I can see why it was changed again, because it was sort of, you know, you're so used to doing that at the 10-minute mark, and now you're all of a sudden not able to anymore. That part was kind of eh. Okay, so let's see, we have maxed knife and cross. So I want to avoid maxing other weapons because I kind of want to get 1000 edge first. Because, unironically, that weapon is actually great now. And it's really weird to say that about knife, because I've hated knife ever since I started playing the game. I always thought it was one of the weakest weapons in the game, and I never thought it was worth a damn to begin with. Now all of a sudden it's one of the best weapons in the game, and it's just... At least, if you have the arcana. You do need the arcana. If you don't have the arcana, the knife is still shit. And you get that arcana by leveling the llama to 99 after unlocking the arcanas. Heart of Fire is Arca, and it's all character tied, and the effects too. The healing one is free, that's not tied to any character, but everything else is tied to characters. And, you know, they make sense compared to what the character does. For example, like Arca starts with the Fire Wand, he buffs Fire Wand with his Arcana. Llama starts with Axe, he buffs Axe and Knife and Cross and Whip. So yeah, I'll probably grab the Healing Arcana actually as the third one, because it does synergize with the Whip evolution. So I'll do that, because I really don't know what else to pick. So let's get Hollow Heart here, because I want to save Candelabrador till the very last possible second. Maxing Candelabrador anyway. So this is already kind of silly. And I don't even have evolved weapons yet. Maybe I should have gone to Dairy Plant. Because I do think it's the harder map, but Empty Tome, still the single best item in the game, and it also is why I hope that eventually we will have a magic one that is actually good, because that would also be great. So, Hollow Heart, Clover, Fire Wand, Empty Tome, Hollow Heart, Fire Wand. Just avoid anything. Oh, damn it. That can evolve. Because I really want to get 1000 edge. Also, it looks like I took a ton of damage. I really didn't. But, so the 11-minute mark now has an Arcana chest. On the beta patch yesterday, I actually got a cripple chest, and it actually evolved 2 weapons and gave me an Arcana. So I'm curious if something like that can happen here. But then I would also need to get a cripple chest first, right? Oh, I actually passed the bracelet. I'm smart. Sometimes. So, you see all the heaven swords flying around? Let's see how much damage they do. I think I saw 600 earlier. It's really hard to tell because shit is flying everywhere, and Yeah, it's doing like 600 on the crit. Okay, so let's get Bracer. Oh yeah, that's why we got Heaven's Cross, of course. Of course. Or Heaven's Sword, because I didn't have Bracer yet. Okay, so let's get an Arcana. We get Revivals, Healing, wait, Heart of Fire. So this is the one we want. It makes it so that Fire Wand explodes on contact and does AoE damage. You have no idea how much better this makes Arca in the early game. Like, if you have Arca, if you want to play Arca, get him Heart of Fire. Because he is such a pain in the ass to use early without. Okay, so Bracer. Also want Spinach, of course. Also, I did one run with Heart of Fire just to see what it did to Hellfire, and it made Hellfire do a lot of damage. Because I think it can explode on every hit as it pierces. Also, Death Spiral is doing a ton of damage as well. So, okay, let's try to stop leveling for a bit. Because I'm getting close to maxing out, and I don't want to max out yet. Because the 12-minute mark should have a boss. There it is. Let's see if we can kill it. And get 1,000 dead. There we go. So now we have 1,000 edge doing 260 damage per knife. Now it doesn't seem to be a guaranteed crit because I do see 40s here and there. But it crits more than it doesn't. So this is actually a good knife. Also because you can control where it fires, which I used to consider a detriment. Let's get Fire Wand to max. I want to avoid the whip, sort of. I want to save the whip for a bit later. But yeah, here Fire Wand's also doing a ton of damage. So now we have Hellfire. Now we can level some more. So the Hellfire is doing 260 damage or so. And it's exploding as it's piercing, and it's just destroying things. So it's about the same as the knife. Now, I do think Hellfire is a bit unreliable for screen clearing because it's random. So let's try to get the Axe next. The Death Spiral. So we have even more screen clearing power. Okay, just look at these knives absolutely destroying things. This is with 50% curse, by the way. Just saying. So I want to save the... I'll save the Diffract Orb. I want to save the Candelabrador for last. Absolute dead last. Oh crap, I grabbed the red gem, didn't I? Okay, so let's stand still a little bit until we get another boss. And I think I need 2 more evolutions, actually. So here's the Death Spiral. So if we stand here, and just how much damage is it doing? I'm curious. Hard to tell. Is it the 600, or is that the sword? Like 660-ish? Let's see. Yeah, it's doing like 600. Yeah. So Death Spiral doing... Oh, the knives are actually doing 270 on crits. Now this is on Lita, of course, and he has a ton of extra might. The only one that could come close to his damage numbers is Pugnala. Since Lita starts with it, he's better at it. Okay, that is a lot of falling stars. So what I want is a boss, so that I can evolve. The whip. And then I will level. Okay, so we got penta chests. Thank fuck. Or not, because this is going to max Candelabrador. Well, so I hope it levels the whip first and then does Candelabrador, because that's why I was waiting. I left a few levels on the ground. Just a few, though. So, now we have the whip. Unfortunately, it's not gonna do much because everything seems to die before it even gets close. Maybe I should have gotten Skull somewhere, but I wouldn't know where to fit it into my build. So... But yeah, these are ridiculous knives, ridiculous death spirals. Like, the knives are doing almost 300 damage. Like, I could easily handle Skull with this. I just didn't have room for it. And that's why I don't like the Skull. Just get rid of the Skull, give Song of Man a different evolution item, and just make Curse stack higher in the power-ups instead. Just scale it infinitely. So that you can run however much Curse you want from the start of the run. Now, it is nice to be able to control it during the run as well, but... it's just, you know, just get rid of it from the passive. I just don't like it. Especially with Arcanas and how sillily they scale, I feel like the game needs more Curse. And then not in a passive slot in your build. Because I think that's just detrimental. So I also want to try a healing build at one point with the Healing Arcana. Go for like all the healing stuff and see if I can make that work. Like garlic and whip and I think it was something else it affected, but that sort of stuff could be really cool. And it's all gone. Like, the knife does so much damage now that you don't have to even think about it. It's just... Okay, so there's a boss, right? Let's just focus him with the knives and he's gone. I think with this Arcana, the knife may actually be a legitimate damage dealer against the Reaper, even. Then add in Heaven's Sword, because that also does a lot of damage. I don't know if the Reaper kill build has room for a Clover, but, you know. The idea is really neat. Because I think I'm actually doing, like, all crits now. I barely see any non-crit numbers. And you could even up that by finding Clovers. Respawn and die, respawn and die, respawn and die. So this is where the whip actually does something. Yeah, this is just silly. I mean, for starters, it's the 20-minute mark, and I'm at almost 90,000 kills. Which, you know, I haven't really kept track of my kill numbers too well, except for that I ended on Arca with 140,000 yesterday when I did my Hellfire test. So I'm curious what I can get on Lita as well. Just because these silly knives do so much damage. It's so weird. I mean, keep in mind, I'm a level 123 already as well. So these enemies are supposed to be tough. I didn't even see that boss. But I got his chest. So basically, you wiggle a little bit, the knives fly everywhere, and everything dies. And if it doesn't, it gets blasted by death spirals, heaven swords, and other stuff. It is absolute madness. So even that one character I never use could be decent now with Knife Arcana. One that has like +1 projectile. It's basically a worse monster that starts with knife. Maybe he's not like absolute dog shit tier anymore. Maybe. That's still up in the air though, because just one extra projectile is not very good. When you have characters that get 3, all they have to do is level a little bit. Again, I didn't even see that one. So, let's get the healing one. Oh, it's Pomerola, of course. Because I don't want speed and revives. I mean, obviously this is the better Arcana, but I don't need revives. I'm not in any danger of dying. Well, I don't need double healing either, by that logic, but it synergizes with the whip, so I can still do something with it, at least. It gives you that little AoE pulse, and that damage it does is based on the amount you've healed, I think. That's why I want to try a healing run. I'll throw in Pentagram and Laurel and Falklanza and just to keep the other items to a minimum. I just try to focus on like healing and dealing damage with that pulse. That's an idea I'll do tomorrow probably. Because, like I said, I really like what Arcanas do to the game. Minus the fact that it takes away any and all challenge the game has. Because it makes you so strong, so we need more options to make things challenging too. Like an endless, infinitely scaling mode. That would be something. Where 3 revivals will just buy you time. Where you're in some sort of danger at some sort of time to actually die. Because I've just been running around with what is pretty Arcana, a pretty bad build. And I've come in no risk of ever dying. Ever. Yeah, the Reaper will obviously kill me. Obviously. What I also gotta do is try a max gold farming run on this map. Just look at that. And it's gone. Yeah, I also gotta try a max gold farming run because I actually feel like this map is pretty good for gold farming and it's not as brain dead as Ilmolis is. I really hate farming Ilmolis. It's just, it's a boring map. Nothing about it is interesting, and yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a bonus map, and I get that, but it's not an interesting map to play. Because what's the fun in requiring a perfect setup and then farming gold with, like, in the exact same way, just to do it slightly more efficiently than what you can do in another map like this one or the library? And it's just not interesting to me at all. So if I can make a run like this map that gets like 15-20,000 gold a run, I would recommend that so much more over doing Ilmolis, because this map gives 100 or 80% extra coins on hyper mode, which automatically should mean that it's a pretty good gold farming map, right? So I want to see that theory work. And see what happens if I go for a max gold farming run. So I gotta do a healing build and a gold farming run on this map. Well, I don't have to, but it'll keep me busy at least. And I do think gold farming has to be on Lita. Oh, see, there's a boss. I'm in danger, right? I am not. I hugged him. I actually hugged him. Hi, this is the kill wave. Getting some extra kills. Now I only have 50% curse, so kills aren't going to be max. But, also this isn't the best AoE killing build either, because I'm not killing things as they spawn in, but this is still a nice little kill wave. And basically free experience for all. So here's a cockatrice. Oh no, wait, it's gone. Just look at the numbers. They're silly. 270 damaged knives. Like, I can't wait to see what happens to Holy One. How that gets made good with Arcanas. The Holy Wand is so bad, it is now officially the worst weapon in the game because the knife is actually good with this Arcana. If you can do 300 damage with fucking knife, it's really good. Turns out. I mean, on Arc I was doing like 180, which is still really good. Just got to compensate for the ridiculous extra might that this character has, of course, but still. Pugnala could hit those numbers, so because Magnolic gets extra might per level. Oh, here's a big boy. Oh, I was just going to aim at him. Also, the new cat weapon is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not using it right now, but it is absolutely ridiculous, and it is so unique and weird. But it starts out really weak, but in the late game it gets really good. It's like the opposite of Labora. Labora gets stronger the more you move. The cats get stronger the less you move. At least that's what I've noticed. Well, let's try to find the red crystal that has all my experience. That's a bunch of it anyway. Because I've had a ton of kills without getting that crystal, so... Oh, here's another boss. I wanted to give him a hug. Figured why? We're at the 28-minute mark and stuff is still like just melting. Let's grab some stuff on the ground. Hell not. There's a lot of stuff on the ground. But yeah, this is the ridiculous power of Arcanas. And I'm all for it. I can't wait to see what else comes of it. Because it is legitimately silly. Like, this is the 29-minute wave. I don't have any shield-type weapon, and they can't even approach me. I mean, they could try. Is he going to focus my knives? Try to. So that I kill some more guys. Because I want to try to get max XP as well. Get all the red gems everywhere. Okay, let's start running and grabbing all of these red crystals. Or try to, anyway. I hate how the Reaper just spawns on you in this map. It doesn't give you a lot of room to run around and grab experience. So I only had one revive. So we have 14,500 coins. I'm pretty sure with a good setup, we can do a lot with that. But just look at the numbers here. So Death Spiral did the most damage, ironically enough, even though I had it almost the shortest. Bloody Tear didn't do shit, but that's mostly because the damage area of the whip was just way outside of what I was hitting. Hellfire did 15 million damage, Thousand Edge did 16 million damage, and the Heaven Sword did 14 million damage. And the Holy One did 3. My point is, these Arcanas are insane. And I'm pretty sure if I actually had good, amount of time to hit with the whip would also have done a lot more damage. But I'm going to try that in my healing item run instead. Yeah, Arcanas are nuts. That's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. Till the next one. I'm out.